Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the 1/6 scale S-Hero Dark Hero figure. It's a bit complicated because everything's got the word hero in it, but the company is called S-Hero. The figure is called Dark Hero. I've reviewed another version of this figure recently on the channel called the Shadow Hero figure, but I have a feeling I'm going to like this one a little bit more than I did the other one, because this one comes with some really nice capes, and I'm going to do a comparison with the other figure as well. So I hope you enjoy this review. I got this figure from a buddy on Instagram. His account's called 6 Scale Miracles, and he sold this to me for a very reasonable price, so thank you for that, sir. Drop a like on this video for me, folks. It'll help more people find it. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. Okay, so this is what you see when you remove the front of the box, and this one comes with 2 capes. One that is formed like this to go around his shoulders and look really nice. I love that look. And there's also just another cape in the background there underneath him that just drapes around him. Now on the Shadow Hero version, a lot of my parts were had weird stains on them. Like all the cowls had kind of blotchy shiny marks on them. Bruce Wayne's hair was a bit blotchy looking. The gauntlets had blotchy sections. There was even some kind of rough edges on some of the ears. So I'm hoping with this one that won't be the case, and then I can use the parts from this one on my other figure to make them both look better. But you get a lot of stuff, and some of his accessories. Actually, I'm just noticing there's more batarangs with this version than there was with the Shadow one from the animated series that I grew up with in the 90s. So this one seems to have some different stuff, which is cool. But the other version only came with 1 wired cape. This one comes with 2 capes, so very nice. He's looking good so far, and I think the side profile just looks a bit better on this one with the neck as far as that's concerned. We'll see with the comparison in this video, but this one just looks a bit better to me. Alright, so it comes with a total of 8 hands / forearms, because it's seamless. I like that. They're a nightmare to change over. Even if you use a heat gun or a hairdryer, it's still really difficult, and it's very off-putting when it comes to poses. You get the metal die-cast batarangs, all 4 of them, and that kind of, what I believe is a line launcher. After the batarangs there, the black piece, that's metal as well. And you get the different expressions. This time around, I'm glad to report that my Bruce Wayne hair does not have any shiny blotches on it. So at least I have one really good Bruce Wayne head for this set. Yeah, different expressions, pretty decent cowls as well. Just nowhere near as many issues with this one so far as I did with the Shadow version. There's your spare drip cape, that's very nice. Base is cool. I think that's got a slightly different image than the other one. But the main draw for me has always been this beautiful looking cape. The way it drapes over the shoulders. And it's always been the main appeal. And so I can swap capes with the different versions and show you how that looks during the review, but you do get a lot of good stuff. So for the transition of the head to the neck on the Dark Hero version, it's still not great, but it's definitely better than it appears on the Shadow Hero version. This one has something about that material, maybe it's thinner. And also you have that kind of unsightly stitching line right down the back of his neck. To my eye, it just overall, all around, just seems to work better on this version than it did on this one. I mean, the shine of the cowl, the painted black of the cowl coming down onto the kind of shine of the neck and the cape, that does work better here, because that's a bit more of a obvious, you're going from plastic to material. I don't know, pros and cons to each one, but I do prefer the look of the one on the right. And yes, the artwork is totally different on both bases. You did have to paint the belt on the Shadow version here. His belt, fresh out of the box, was bright fluorescent yellow. It's terrible. I still need to finish repainting that. Now, I'm no expert on this particular suit from the animated show that it's from. I had gotten to other things by the time this look came along, but I saw all of the early 90s animated series stuff. but I'm definitely more familiar with the one on the left. But I just, figure-wise, do prefer the one on the right so far. But once I put this cape, and essentially the neck as well, onto this version, I think that's going to solve a lot of problems. I mean, his chest emblem's still too big on this one. It's really oversized. There's a couple of shots I checked. There's a couple of shots where it almost gets that big, but never quite that big. Not that I can remember anyway. You might be able to correct me on that. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that next. I think I'm going to try this cape on this figure. Let's get on with it. Let's get down to the good stuff. Oh man, I wish I had that on camera. I made a really funny noise when I first tried this. I kind of went, ooh, like a weird owl. Oh man, that looks fucking good. Yeah. It's missing the blue on the inside of the cape, but still, that looks, oh, that is lush. That is really, really nice. And I've still got the drape cape, or that one. You know, I suppose, well, that wouldn't be accurate to this suit, would it? I can use it. You saw how good that looked in the pose video for that figure when I had him running with the cape blowing behind him. He looked amazing like that. But it definitely is something you can do. If you have both, you can really improve the look of the shadow version. That just looks so good. Let's see the side profile now that he's got the new cape on. I remember how bad it looked in his review. Well, it's thicker. It's not too bad. Doesn't bother me as much. Yeah, doesn't look too bad from the side. So let's put the other cape you get with this one on here and see them both together. Yep, that looks really good. You can justify having both of them because you could have one set up as Bruce Wayne. And with all the different accessories, you can set them up really different from each other, and it's just nice to see them both together. Thanks again to 6 Scale Miracles for doing me a nice deal on this one here. Because I was quite let down by this one. But with this cape and the shoulder sculpted sections to have it drape around his arms like that at the top, it's such a cool idea. Yep, he's missing the blue on the inside because that cape is supposed to come with this one, and he doesn't have blue on the inside of his cape, so that makes sense. But they should have included this cape with the blue inside for this version, the shadow version on the left. And I don't care who comes at me in the comments saying you never saw his cape like that in the show. I swear he must have at some point, or even if he was just kind of sweeping it back behind him for a second to leap on someone, he would have had that look for a brief moment. But it's just such an essential piece of this puzzle, because this figure here was very frustrating, and now that I've got this cape on him, it's turned into something completely different. Yes sir, I need to go at the cape here with a steam gun or something, get the wrinkles out of there. But you got his kind of separate cowl that you can put kind of as if he's just taking it down off his head. But it's nice to have a Bruce Wayne head that doesn't have all that blotchy shine on his hair in places. This one's perfect. And that's what I mean, you can justify it because they're both very different looking now. It looks like the Dark Hero version on the right has a slightly lighter tone to the grey than the figure on the left. It's subtle, but there does seem to be a difference in tone to the suits. The Dark Hero version has a spandex kind of stretchy material for his underwear, and the Shadow version has more of a, possibly the same thing, but with just something laid on top of it to give it this leathery look. You can see where I had my damage there, fresh out of the box, right there in the middle of the pants, this little gash. I'm still waiting for the eBay seller to send me some replacement. It just looks so good. It's a frustrating situation where you have to get this cape somehow that comes with this figure so you can put it on this one. That's annoying, but it is worth doing. You can see, I know that when I put him back on the shelf over there with the rest of the Batman figures, he's going to look so much better than he did before. He's going to have this really undeniably strong presence. Really does make a nice change to all the other figures on the shelf though, because he's so clearly, you know, has that animated look. Beautiful paintwork on the head sculpt and the exaggerated proportions from the cartoon style, but it just goes really nice with everyone else on the shelf, because a lot of these figures are based on like real people in movies, so it's just nice to have an animated look amongst them all. I do love the proportions. It's a really good head sculpt, this one. I'm so glad to have a Bruce Wayne head sculpt now that doesn't have all those horrible stains on his hair. Deadpool is looking at the Predator. A little bit starstruck. I'm working on the room at the moment, trying to figure out the shelves. That section's pretty nice. And then you get a bit... That's quite nice. I like having... I never thought to put them together really on the shelves, but of course I've got a BVS Batman and the BVS Superman, so they should be side by side. They complement each other nicely. Alright, there's Shadow version back in his spot for now with his new cape, thanks to the Dark Hero. I do miss the blue that you can see on the inside of the cape. I miss that. Yeah, I'll chop and change, I guess. I got options, so that's all good. Right, I've got to find a spot for you, Bruce. Someone may have to be sacrificed. I do have two Heath Ledger Jokers on display at the moment. Kind of digging this one a bit more. It's a really nice one. But then again, the other one is the Hit Me Scene Joker. Yeah. I'll figure it out. Alright, got the figure on the rotating base, got the cool kit back on him again, and just not experiencing as many issues as I did with the Shadow version with this one here. It's been a more pleasant review, but as he turns around the back, this one also has a seam at the back of the neck, but it's a different type of material, so it's just not quite as ugly as the other one, but there's certainly a hell of a lot of room for improvement here as far as the head and neck transition goes, but I'm still really liking it. It's a case where I've already reviewed the other version, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. He does all the same things the other one does. The posability is really good. Check out the pose session I did with that version recently to see some of the moves he can pull off. But yeah, he looks nice turning here. Just stood up straight and powerful. No need to repaint the belt. At least I don't think there is. Like I said earlier, I'm not overly familiar with this particular version of the animated Batman. I don't think there's any reason to repaint anything on here. The look with the breather mask is really cool. I had the shadow version on display on the shelf like this for the last few days, but you're constantly torn because the mouth plates do look very, very good. They have that really, they nailed the animation look. But the presence of this look on the shelf is something very, very special. But that's another cool reason to have both versions. So you can rock one on the shelf with the breather, looking really badass, and then the other with the regular mouth plates in. But that does look very cool. That's the Dark Hero spare drape cape on the Shadow Hero figure. Definitely needs to have the wrinkles taken out of it. It's not too bad. It's probably not a look I would display on the shelves. It's not too bad. I've literally just chucked it on him. Didn't try futzing with it or anything. And you can just chuck it over his shoulders, but you will miss that blue from the stock cape. It's a lovely rich blue. There's the old half and half look. Okay everyone, I'll give you my final thoughts and a score out of 10. It's not a long review because he's very similar to the Shadow version on the left, although the Shadow version on the left is now wearing the cape that comes with the one on the right. So do not buy the Shadow version here thinking he will come with a cape that looks like that, because he will not. I've just taken it from the one on the right. I had a lot of bad experiences with the first one on the left. That was one of the worst reviews I've done in a while, as far as the score and just the experience of filming it. But this one I've had no issues, and it's a good figure, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10, the Dark Hero. I haven't had all that horrible blotchy shine in certain areas of all the black paint on the hair and the cowls and the gloves. Haven't had any of that with this one. And the belt doesn't need repainting. It comes with 2 capes, all the batarangs are metal. And it's a good figure, so he gets a 7 out of 10. So I do recommend the Dark Hero version. I don't know if I just got unlucky with my Shadow Hero version, but it's certainly, it's still, as you saw in the pose video for the Shadow Hero here, he's still a really nice looking figure from the right angles, but the side profile is killed by the hideous neck area. But because of the extra layer of material on this one, when you put the cape on, it beefs up the neck a little bit. So that's it. I'll be back with you soon with more videos, and don't forget to drop a like on this one for me and subscribe if you haven't done already. Thanks again to 6 Scale Miracles for sending me the Dark Hero on the right here for a nice reasonable price. It was $150, which I thought was fair considering I paid $198 for the Shadow Hero on eBay. So got this for $150, and I feel that is a nice little price for a decent looking 1/6 scale animated Batman. Alright, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.